Morning, it's Audrey, Stitch UH 42. It is Tuesday, the 23rd of October, 2018. This is my 60th video. Wow. I have a bunch of stuff to share with you today. But first I have a story to tell you. If you have visited my house before, you know that I don't like spiders. If you are new to visiting my house, I don't like spiders. I have a spider story. I told part of this spider story when I went up to the last monthly meetup up at Acorns and Threads, but then it continued. So I thought that I would share it with you. All I ask is that if you are eating anything or drinking anything, please stop, because I don't want you to choke because you're laughing. And I don't want you to spit things out of your nose if you're drinking. But if that happens, I want to hear about it. Okay, so I've told you all before that I only work 3 days a week. I work on the W days, weekends and Wednesdays, which means I have Monday and Tuesday off, Thursday and Friday off. This story started on a Monday night. On my nights off, I like to stay up a little bit later than usual. I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning on the days that I work, so I'm usually in bed by 9. So on the days I don't work, I like to stay up a little bit later. I either stitch and watch Floss Tube, or I read, or a combination of the both. Anyway, it was a Monday night. It was about 10 o'clock at night, and Mark said that he was going to bed. He had to work the next day, so he went to bed. I stayed up. I did whatever it is that I was doing. Around midnight, I decided that I was finally tired enough and I was going to go to bed too. So I want to be quiet because Mark's sleeping. He's got to get up in the morning. I walked through our bedroom into the bathroom to take care of the things that you do before you go to bed. And I'm sitting there, and I look above the door between the bathroom and the bedroom, and there's the spider. Body and legs, big spider. I don't like spiders. It's in my house and it has to die. It's a rule. I can't wake up Mark because he has to get up early in the morning, and he's usually the one that takes care of them for me. So I have to deal with this myself. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, what do I have? What can I use? Well, I have my Birkenstocks on, but that means I have to get up close and personal to it, and I don't want to do that. And I'm looking around the bathroom trying to figure out what I have that I can use as a weapon. And I spot it. The plunger. So I pick it up, cups up on this end. I'm holding it there. I stand sideways to the door and I whack. Hit the wall right in front of the spider. It scuttled backwards. I think it laughed at me. Pissed me off. So I whack it a second time and it falls to the floor. I see where it falls. Now, I'm going to deviate from the story for a moment. When we bought our house 30 years ago, the people before us had carpet in every room of the house. There was carpet in the kitchen. There was carpet in both bathrooms. Well, the kitchen and the bathroom downstairs have had the carpet removed, but mine still has this hideous, ugly, brown, geometric, hideous carpet, and it'll probably stay there. And that room will be the last room ever to be remodeled in our house. And the spider fell on this brown, ugly, hideous carpet, but I saw where it landed. So I whack it a third time. And now it's gone. Did I kill it? Did it scuttle behind the cabinet? I can't find it. I'm looking all around for it and I can't find it. And finally I decide, okay, I will continue the search in the morning. I go and crawl in bed next to Mark, and then I laid there and thought about spiders until I fell asleep. I don't like spiders. The next morning when I got up, Mark's already gone for work. Our bathroom has a southern facing window, so it was full of morning sunlight, and I went in there and I continued the search, and I could not find anything to do with the spider. Fine. I went downstairs, had breakfast, had my coffee, did a little stitching, and then I went upstairs to shower to get ready for my day. And I looked for the spider again. Couldn't find it. So I take my shower, and I'm standing in the bathroom drying off, and I put my right foot up onto the toilet so that I can dry off my lower leg and dry off my feet, and I look, and there between my toes is something, and I look closer. It was a spider leg between my toes. Ooh. Ooh. So I reached down and I grabbed it and I flicked it into the garbage. I put my foot down on the floor, and underneath my right heel, I step on something, and I bounced into the center of my bedroom. I'm now standing at the foot of my bed, naked, holding my towel, hyperventilating. I get myself calmed down, creep back into the bathroom, and sure enough, there is now this squished spider body on the floor. And I think to myself, I can leave it for Mark to pick up. And then I think, no, if I do that, I'm going to forget about it. I'm going to step on it again. So I have to pick it up myself, which means you get the wad of toilet paper. Scoop it up, throw it in the toilet, flush it, because it could come back. It could come back. The following Monday, it happened again. Mark went to bed. I stayed up. Around midnight, I go upstairs to go to bed. I'm in the bathroom, sitting down, and I look, and there's another spider in just about the same position. And I'm thinking, why? Why? I know I have my weapon. This time I'm going to approach it differently, and instead of just whacking it, I'm going to squish it. Only this time, when I got it, it didn't fall to the floor. It fell on top of the door frame. And I'm thinking, I can't get that. It just, no, that means I have to be under it. No. 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 Anyway, can you tell I'm starting to hyperventilate just telling the stupid story? I don't like spiders. I leave it there, and I tell myself I'm going to tell Mark the next day. And Tuesday comes and goes, and I forget to tell him. Wednesday morning, I get up and I'm showering, I'm getting dressed for work, and I see it up there, and I'm going, okay, I will tell him today, and he can get it for me. And I forget. And then Thursday comes around, and Mark didn't have to work that day. So we decide we're going to go run some errands in Salem, and I go upstairs to take my shower. When you walk into my bathroom, there's the door that goes between the bedroom and the bathroom, and then over here on the side, there is a door that goes out to our upstairs deck, and right next to it is where the shower stall is at. I'm standing in the shower stall. I've just got my body all wet down, and I look up over the door from the shower to the door going outside, and there's spider number 3. I am now on spider watch. I shampoo my hair. I look at the spider. I rinse my hair off. I look at the spider. Lather my body up. Look at the spider. Rinse myself up. Look at the spider. Put the conditioner on. Look at the spider. Rinse the conditioner off. Look at the spider. It hasn't moved, but it's there. So I get out of the shower and I go to the top of the stairs and I holler at Mark to come upstairs because I need him. He comes up, and again, I'm standing in the middle of the bedroom naked with the towel, and he goes, "What's going on?" And I said, "There's a spider over the door going outside. I need you to kill it. And oh, by the way, can you get the body of the one I killed Monday night off the other door?" And he just looked at me and went in and took care of my problem. I know I'm millions of times bigger than a spider. They freak me out. They creep me out. Every fall, I stand out on my front porch and I tell them, if you stay outside, you can live. If you come inside, you will die. I know spiders are beneficial. I know all of these things. I know I've had people tell me, we can just pick it up and put it outside. No, I can't. I can't. I am terrified of spiders. If they're in my house, they have to die. So that was my spider drama. And we're going to move on to something that's way more fun to talk about and doesn't have me feel like I'm all creepy crawly. I don't like spiders. Okay. First of all, I am showing off the lovely knitted scarf that was sent to me by Suzanna Warner. I love this. So far, I've managed to keep it hidden from my daughter. If she watches this video, I may have to find a new place to hide it because these are her colors. Thank you, Suzanna. I do love it. Okay, I have got a couple of fully finished items. Yep, they're all in here. So the first one that I want to talk about is my first fully finished biscornu. I stitched a piece a while back that I was going to try to make into a biscornu, and I didn't. Different story, another time, another place. I've shown you the pattern. This is Hands-On Design Squareology Harvest Basket. The pattern is 1/4 of it, and you turn the pattern to complete it. This is the one where I stitched the pumpkins down at the bottom in blue because I had grown once in a blue moon pumpkins and I wanted to be a little bit different. So I decided that I was going to make this into a biscornu because I have another exchange coming up and I thought that I would give this away as my part of the exchange. It's a voluntary exchange. If I don't have something to put into the exchange, it doesn't matter, but I wanted to try making a biscornu. Now, I know that when you start the biscornu, start stitching the two pieces together, you put the corner in the middle of one side and you stitch around and you're supposed to end up with that nice little 8-sided doohickey. Mine didn't work. I started it in the middle. I started it in the middle, but it didn't end up in the middle. I don't understand why. It didn't end up in the middle. See? It's wonky. And then you get to this side, and for some reason I had more fabric up here, so I just kind of stitched up there and did it, but it's wonky, and so it doesn't have the proper biscornu shape. I don't know. So I don't know if I'm going to put it in the exchange or not. What do you think? It's pretty, but it's not the right biscornu shape. So do I put it into the exchange or not? What do I do? Help me out. Let me know. Having done that, I don't need this anymore. So I'm going to offer it up for a pass the stash, but we'll talk about that later on. I tried something last Monday. I did some experimenting and I posted my pictures on Instagram yesterday when people started receiving their part of the experiment. I decided, after going up to Lisa's house for that stitching weekend a couple of months ago, Lisa Smith, Kindred Stitcher, invited several of us up to her house for the weekend. And there was Lori, textilist there. There was Michelle Rudy, Farm Girl Stitcher. There was Lisa's sister Carrie and myself. There was supposed to be a couple other people, my sister, Michelle Garrett, Bendy Stitchy, Linda Jo, Pretty Southern, but they couldn't make it because of life. Saturday night when we were there, Lisa and Lori dyed some floss and some fabric. And I've never really done that. I've watched people talk about it. I've watched the videos where Michelle Rudy has done it, where other people have done it. And I've always been a little hesitant about trying it myself. But watching those two that night, it really is a simple process. You just have to play. And you don't know what you're going to get until you try it. So I decided that I wanted to try dyeing some floss. And I decided that if I was going to do this, I was going to do enough of it so that I could send some off to various people. Just because. So I decided that I was going to use B5200 as my base floss. And I had to go to 3 different places to get the 31 skeins that I wanted to play with. I went to Joann's and I bought everything that they had there. I went to Hobby Lobby and I bought everything they had there. And then I came back into Silverton and I got the rest of them at High School Pharmacy. And I just used liquid RIT dye. I used gray, black, purple, and royal blue. And when I was at Joann's, I had found next to the RIT dyes, they have these little squeeze bottles. You can either buy a great big package of them or you could buy a package that had 2 of them in there for $4. So I got 2 packages of those. I had four little bottles, squeeze bottles this big. So I came home, I set up my laboratory in the kitchen, the witch's laboratory. You know, kitchen is the witch's lab. Had my towel out, I had my tub for dyeing in, I had my 4 dyes. I took my measuring cup and I put hot water in it and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and dissolved that. And then I divided that water into those 4 bottles. And then I just put a couple drops of each color in until I got the color that I wanted. So I now had my 4 bottles. Then I took my white floss, put it in the plastic tub, and using these bottles, I was able to squirt the color where I wanted it on the floss, and it just sucked right into the floss. There was not a lot of liquid left over. So I had a cookie sheet. I had lined it with several layers of paper towels. And as I did my batches of floss, I did 6 at a time. I got them saturated with color the way I wanted to. I put them on the paper towels on the cookie sheet and I stuck them in the oven at 250 degrees. And then I just kept an eye on it because all I wanted to do was get it dry. And when it got to the point where it felt like it was dry but not completely dry, I took them out of the oven, hung them over a dowel rod, and hung that over the bathtub with the skeleton in it. And this is what I came up with. This is, and I've titled it Witch's Brew, because obviously, if I made it in the witch's laboratory, it must be Witch's Brew. It is a combination of gray, black, purple, and blue. And this isn't doing it justice, but it really is a pretty color, and it has a lot of variegation in it. And I sent several of them out to people whose addresses that I had with a Halloween card. I've kept 2 that I'm going to give away. But we're going to get to that later. So anyway, I made some witch's brew. Okay. On Instagram, Grand Nina is the one who asked me to explain how I dyed my floss. So Grand Nina, I hope that that helps. I am not a pro. It was my first time trying it. I'm very tickled with how it turned out. I'm not going to do a floss of the month, despite the people who have suggested that. You might have to wait until next Halloween when I experiment again. It might be a yearly thing. Who knows? Alrighty. Talked about that, talked about that, talked about that, talked about that. Notes. They're all over the place. I had to number them. I have another fully finished piece. You've seen this before. This is Old Crow Inn. The pattern and the fabric are by Kaniki. Nikki of Kaniki's Prims&Whims. I love this piece. I really, really love this piece. It is so cute. What I did to finish it is, it's just a flat mount. But I didn't use mat board. I didn't use sticky board. I just put a piece of, I put interfacing on the back of my design. And then I put a piece of wool batting on the back of my design, and I folded the edges over. And I just ironed the edges down. Simple deal. What I've mounted it on is a piece of painter's canvas, an 8x10 painter's canvas. I bought, I think, 5 of these at Craft Warehouse. They were $1 a piece. I've used the larger painter's canvases. I did that with my Witch on Duty and my Wicked Witch Apothecary shop. And I like it because, you know, it's nice and hard and it's stable. And I wanted this to be a flat piece because I have a feeling that this is what's going to be sitting on the secretary that I got and showed you all. So how I finished it is I took the white canvas and I have this tissue paper which has, looks like newsprint. And I glued this to this. And then I just scraped the edges off so it's a little bit rough around the edges, but that's the look I wanted. To attach it, I used upholstery tacks. Drew Weasley asked me on Instagram where to find these. You can get them at any hardware shop. I get them down at High School Pharmacy. They have a hardware section. They have a variety section. You can find them anywhere. And they all have different finishes on them. Those two are different than the others. Oh well. It doesn't matter. But I just pushed these through the painter's canvas. And they stuck out about, a quarter of an inch behind the back. So when Mark got home that night, he used wire cutters to snip them off, and then he used a thick variety of super glue and just put a little drop around of it to hold the tacks in place. And when that was dry, he took this out to his grinding wheel and ground off the sharp edges. So that is my fully finished Old Crow Inn. On the letters, the way she has it designed, those are supposed to be stitched 1 over 1 if you're using a linen. I stitched mine on 16 count Aida, and I know you can do 1/1 on Aida. I didn't want to. So I just did back stitching, and I took her pattern and I just kind of used it as a guideline and made my letters work. If somebody else buys this pattern from Nikki and wants to know how I did these letters, send me an email. Let me know that you've actually bought the pattern, and I will show you, I will send you a close-up of my pictures so that you can copy my letters if you so choose to. But I have to know that you have the pattern first before I send that to anybody, because it's only fair. It's only right. She did a tour on her last video of her corner and her craft room, and I have the envy. I so have the envy. I'm working on collecting things to put up in my craft room behind the Hobbit library, and I've been looking at pictures of people's craft rooms, and the ones like hers that are full of boxes and drawers and shelves and things flowing over just appeals to me. I have the envy. Thank you for the tour. Alrighty. I got some magical mail. Magical arrivals. The first one, I was contacted by Lisasstitinstable on Instagram. She wanted to know about my stitching wish list. I don't have one. Seriously, I don't have one. In the front of my notebook, I have a list of patterns that, you know, I've written down when I see people post them. And some of them I've gone back and I've looked at and wondered why I've put them in there. I've bought some of them. I've crossed off a lot of them. But I don't really have a stitching wish list. I guess the only thing I wish for is a card or a postcard from everyone. That's it. That would make me happy. We exchanged addresses and she sent me a box with the perfect little card. I mean, seriously. There are days we have to decide which broom we can ride. I can balance brooms. If it's a flat broom, I can balance it. If you go through my Instagram, you'll find the picture that I have in front of platform 9 3/4 where I balance the broom in the house. I've done it at work. It kind of freaks people out, and it's why. It's just balancing a broom. Mark and I were in Salem running errands one day, and I walked down the aisle that had the brooms, and I took one and balanced it and walked away, and then watched the people come around the corner and they kind of look at it like, how the hell? It's just balancing a broom. I like the card. So she sent me this box, and it has a bunch of goodies in it. She sent me this bag. This is cute. I think this might be my winter bag for carrying my stuff back and forth, all my things that I take up to Acorns and Threads, because it's waterproof, whereas my McMiniman's bag is not. She stuffed it full of goodies, and these are the goodies that I'm going to share with my granddaughters. Little skulls, candy dispensers, and Halloween pretzels, and Muddy Buddies Chex Mix, and these cute little glitter notebooks. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much. Seriously, you didn't have to. Like I said, I don't have a stitching wish list. I don't expect people to send things to me. I am touched and overwhelmed when they do, because I know it takes time and it takes effort. If you make something, if you think about sending something to someone, you're putting thought and intent, and thank you. Thank you so much, because it really does. It makes me feel humbled, and it makes me feel blessed. And my eyes are getting wet. Okay. But that's not the only magical arrival I got. First of all, I got a card from Amy. She was the one who won my floss tube anniversary giveaway. And she sent me this card. Creeping it real. The girl knows me. And she sent me stickers. On the back of the envelope, there's this little sticker of a candy corn bat. And then she put a little frog there. She has a toad stamp that she puts on her envelope. But this one in the middle, can you see that? Sealed with a fish. It's fish lips kissing the seal. Cute. So, so cute. And then a couple of days ago, I received a package from her. Amy, you made me cry. Just saying that, you made me cry. They were good tears. Again, I was stunned and overwhelmed and wow. On one of her last videos, she showed a metal cutout that her husband had made for her using a plasma cutter of Cinderella's mouse. And she was going to use it to mount her needle binders on. And when I saw that, my mind thought, ooh, I wonder if I could get him to make a witch hat for me. Apparently she read my mind. I received this package with a lovely note. And I opened it up. And I have a metal witch hat that I'm going to hang my needle minders on in my craft room. You did not need to do this, Amy. You seriously did not need to do this. I was touched and overwhelmed. And thank you. Thank you so very much. But that wasn't all. She made me a little drum. The moon and the witch and the stars. And on the top, there's a little moon. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Alrighty then. Yeah. I am one of the leakiest people I know. I cry through commercials. Seriously, I do. So what have I been stitching on? Well, I've shown you the pattern before. I'm still working on her. I spent a bunch of time with her yesterday, and I finally got the dress done. That dress, there's a lot of stitching in there. But she is looking so, so cute. She's got both feet now. She was balancing like a flamingo, but I've got her dress done. And now I just have her head to do and her hat. And I think a second flower, a fourth flower. But that is coming along quite nicely. I still haven't figured out how I'm going to finish it yet, but that will come. And then I started something new. So this is in this bag from Helen D. I told you that I wanted to start the Herbal Grimoire. When I found that shadow box tray thing that I thought this would be the perfect pattern to go in the top of that. I wasn't going to start it, but now I've got the shadow box and the tray, and I've got this, and I knew that Julie, Kansas City girl in a Colorado world, was going to be starting hers. So I started mine. And this is how far I have gotten. I started here in the center, worked up to the top, worked over and down, and then I started on the letters. And because this border is going to go down and around and back up and around all over this side, I have decided that what I am going to do is one strand of floss down the side, then I can do one strand of floss across the letters, one strand of floss down, the next letter, so on and so forth. I am doing this in 939, the DMC color 939. What I'm thinking of doing, the pattern is stitched in 310 black and white. The white is for the spider web over here and the spider web here and the spider hanging down. What I'm thinking of doing is, if you look at the patterns, there are plants. I'm thinking I'm going to use my witch's brew, because I did keep some for myself. But I'm thinking that the 939 and the witch's brew, and that will be the colors that I use to finish my Herbal Grimoire. So, I think that is everything that I have to share. We're going to step back a moment, because like I said, I am going to be passing the stash on Hands-On Design, Squareology, Harvest Basket, and I'm also going to give away 2 strands of my witch's brew. Y'all know the rules. Please be 18 or have your parents' permission. Please be a subscriber. I don't check. I will mail it anywhere. 3 separate giveaways. You can put your name in for both, or one, or the other. I want a Stitch Harvest Basket. I would like witch's brew. I sent out 23 skeins of floss to people, and those people, some of them have received them. I'm hoping everybody will have them within the next couple of days or so. So if you've received a skein of witch's brew, you are eliminated from joining in on this giveaway, because you already got some. I want this to go to somebody who doesn't have some, and it's 2 different giveaways. I will leave this open. Today is the 23rd. I will leave this open until October 31st. And on Halloween night, I will draw the names, and on my video right after that, I will let you know who gets the Harvest Basket or the witch's brew. I ship international. It makes no difference to me. So anyway,